Hey, Josh, John Worrell.
How you doing, Laurel?
Good. You?
Doing great.
Let's throw you a bit of a curveball. Uh, is there any appreciation of the fact that you have more wins against New England than, as I count, seven of your predecessors in Buffalo?
I mean, wins are a team stat, in my opinion. So, obviously, the last couple of years we've had a pretty good team and guys doing the right thing, and that usually accumulates to wins. But again, playing at home in a divisional round against our division rival, a team that's been the standard for long-term success in the NFL for the last 25, 30 years. Again, it's going to be a great challenge. We're super excited for the opportunity. Obviously, they beat us at home last time, and it's going to be another dogfight.
What if it and it is a team stat? I agree with you. What do you think has changed over the course of the past 2 years, in which the Bills have had an edge over New England, and how much confidence or maybe reassurance does that provide this team, knowing that you have been able to beat the Patriots?
Yeah, I think every game has just a different flow to it, a different type of situation, a different feel. But again, it's the guys that Bean and Sean have brought in, type of guys we have in the locker room, the leadership that we have, the trust that we have in one another. And we're going to need that come Saturday night because, again, it's hard to beat a team twice in a season. Obviously, that speaks for both sides because we're 1-1 on the season. But again, they beat us at home, and that's where we're playing this game. So we got to be ready for whatever they can throw at us. And again, it's going to be a 12-round slugfest. In my opinion, it's going to take all 4 quarters to win a game.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, kind of on the heels of that, it's unusual to play a team 3 times. I mean, the Bills and Patriots haven't played in the playoffs since 1963. I guess my question to you is this: just how difficult is it to prepare? And division games tend to be tighter a lot of the time because of familiarity with an opponent. So can you talk to me, kind of looking ahead to this one, based on that and the challenge of going against this team in particular on a 3rd time this year?
Yeah, I mean, again, they do so many great things, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Being able to switch coverages, being able to play man coverages out of zone looks and zone coverages out of man looks. They just got a lot of smart, savvy veteran players over there that play to their strengths and that are extremely well coached. And when you have that type of defense, they're relying on the offense to make mistakes and expecting the offense to make mistakes because they're so sound fundamentally. So obviously ball security is the number 1 priority going into this game, and trying to end every drive with a kick. But again, playing a team three times in the season, we know each other extremely well. They know us, we know them. So it's whoever can adjust quicker, whoever can show a different look that maybe the first go around or the second go around we've seen, and throw a different wrinkle into it. So again, and that's why Coach Belichick is, one of the, if not the greatest coach of all time, just his ability to switch things up for a quarterback and make you see different things.
All right. So a quick follow to that: the day after Christmas, the win over in Foxborough, the way you just described it, that's how I think most of us saw it too. You were back, your offensive line gave you time. You really took what that defense gave you and had success. Obviously, he's going to throw something different at you this time around. That's trademark Belichick, right? But how much can you take from that win and that recent success in Foxborough?
I mean, I think just the atmosphere, the energy that we had in that game. And again, we've been treating our last 3-4 weeks like a playoff type of environment in our locker room. But again, it's win or go home, and both sides of the team or both sides of the ball know that. Both teams know that. So it's going to be two really, really good teams going at it for a chance to continue on and to accomplish what everybody wants to accomplish. That's to win a Super Bowl. So, it's no team's going to lay down from here on out. And we understand that. We know that. And we got to be on our P's and Q's and play our best football come Saturday night.
All right, Josh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Matt Bove, how are you?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
I'm well, thanks. Hey, so I think this is your 5th playoff game. And the question is, what, if anything, changes once it's a playoff game as opposed to a regular season game?
I mean, I think just every play counts so much. Every first down that you can get, it can change the course of a game. And whether it be game planning or just watching film and letting coach know what I like, what I don't like, and being extremely definitive within those conversations to know that we've only got 70, 75 plays. So we need to make every single one of them count, because at the end of the day, we're not promised another game, and we gotta put our best stuff out on the field. And like I said, look and try to find a win, no matter how we can do it, whether it be running the ball 45 times or throwing the ball 45 times. And that's just how it's going to be moving forward.
And like, hey, it's easy for us. I went on Amazon this morning. I bought an electric hand warmer for Saturday. Like, I can keep that in my pocket. You can't do that. What's the weather going to have, if any, impact in this game?
I mean, it's going to be cold for both teams. It'll be a challenge. You know, it's not fun getting hit in the cold. It's not fun catching, hard passes in the cold. Again, getting off the ground is it's a little more exhausting throughout the course of a game. So again, just trying to get used to that. And it's more of a, I think, mental barrier than it is a physical barrier, if anything. But again, we got to do our best to not let the elements limit us in what we can do.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Hey, Josh, how's it going, man?
Good to see you, Thad.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, Matt set up my question. Couldn't have done it more perfect. But when you've dealt with weather over the years, and between Buffalo and Wyoming, you've had plenty of years to do it. What have you learned is the best way for you to manage playing in the cold and the wind and whatever else it is to be able to perform as best you can? Like Matt said, you can't bring a hand warmer out there. So, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing for me is, I don't know why, I got bad circulation within my feet. My toes get really cold and they go numb a little bit. So it's keeping those suckers as warm and as dry as possible, as well as the hands. Obviously, that's a big emphasis for quarterbacks. You need your hands to throw. So keeping those extremities as warm as possible. I'm not a big sleeve guy. I think it hurts in the run game in terms of holding on to the football. And I've learned that throughout the course of my career so far. So again, just on the sideline, sitting on the benches and trying to stay as warm as possible. But throughout the course of the game, when you're on the field, you don't really feel it too much. It doesn't affect you too bad when you got adrenaline flowing and your mind's on so many different other things. It's not a crazy difficult thing to overcome, but early on, especially, it can be tough, and you got to get over it.
So are you a toe warmer guy? Are you a 3-layer socks guy? Or what is the play?
I'm not. I'm a 1-layer sock guy, but I got to, we have the seated benches or the heated benches, and they got the little foot warmers there. But sometimes when it's super cold, it doesn't feel like much. So I got to get by the heaters.
All right. Thanks, man. If you learn anything new about the toes, let us know, because we all have that issue for sure.
Hey, Josh, I hate to beat this issue into the ground, but just one more question about the weather. I asked Sean this earlier about, is it harder for you guys, you players, to be the athletes that you can be when it's as miserable as it's supposed to be out there? Is it hard to be an athlete and be at the best at the top of your game if if it's 5 degrees?
I mean, I think it's an even playing field for both sides of the ball. I mean, you got to stay as warm, as stretched out as humanly possible, because again, you're sitting on the bench for an extended period of time. Your body will start doing different things. You feel a little tighter. You feel like you can't get to top speed. So more so for skill guys, just making sure that they're staying ready to go. But again, like I said, it's an even type of thought process for me. Is both sides are cold. Everybody in the stands is going to be cold. Like, it's just what it is, and we got to deal with it. And again, find a way to put our best foot forward come Saturday night.
Okay, that's all I need. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, 7 times now you've played against Bill Belichick's defense. Is there levels of comfort where, you start to see things that you've seen before, or is it still something where he's just so good at disguising things, or however you want to put it, that, you're always having to kind of adjust more in game with what he does?
No, you always got to adjust for him. The second you start thinking it's a sure thing, that's when it gets the rug swept under your feet, and you're thinking the wrong coverage and throwing a ball. to a backside corner, which you didn't think was there. So again, you gotta make sure that you see everything before the snap, and then just reassure it after the snap. And if it's something that you thought was different, it's getting out of it and finding the right person to throw the ball to, and not trying to force a bad decision to make it worse. So, but again, I think that's a combination of, one, Coach Belichick, but two, the players that they have on that defense. Like I said, the smart, savvy guys. You got the McCourties, the Vinoys, Collins. I mean, I can go on and on about how many good players that they have, how smart they are, how many different positions that they can play. It's pretty. I mean, it's, as a football fan, it's fun to watch, and it's a tough thing to go against as a quarterback.
And I'm sorry again for the weather, but with being a quarterback, you mentioned how hard it is for receivers to catch the ball in that kind of cold weather. Do you do anything specifically during the week or on game day to kind of change your technique or anything with how you're throwing the ball to take something off of it?
No, I mean, I think that the second you try to start messing with mechanics and stuff, especially this late into a season, it only tends to make things worse. So you just got to trust your guys out there. You got to trust yourself and what you're seeing and what you're throwing, and go based on that. Because again, it's going to be hard for both teams to catch the ball, and it's going to be hard for both teams to hit and break tackles and this and that. So again, it's whatever team figures that out first is going to have, obviously faster success and have a better chance at winning the game.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Hey, Josh, I know we've talked so much about facing the Patriots for, multiple times in a season, but when you guys played them in the regular season, that was also the closest together you've ever played them, the 2 times in 4 weeks. Was there anything that pros or cons that you felt from that, of just having them so close together?
Like I said, every week's a different situation, and I know they had a couple guys out last time we played against them, and they'll be getting back. So again, every play matters. Every situation is a different look. But on our side of the ball, being smart with the football, making the right decision, and just trying to skip some third downs is obviously, that's the name of the game for everybody. But it's extremely important this week.
Even when everything is so different, does it change your prep when it's like, oh, I just saw these guys really recently, I know they're going to mix things up, but is it more fresh or anything like that?
I mean, I guess you can say it's a little fresher. But again, they do such a good job of switching things up that it's hard to get a beat on it. And you can't put your trust in something and bank on something happening, because like I said earlier, that's when things get switched up, and you gotta find a way to make a good play and not make the bad one.
Thanks.
Josh Alicious, Mookie
How you doing,
Hawkins,
Mook?
Corporal Sports Cincinnati, man. Hey, I took a script out your playbook. I went Babyface Assassin, man. How you like it?
There you go. Looks good on you. Looks good on you.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. But hey, Josh, man, being accustomed to these postseason the past 2 years, what have you learned in the last 2 that would be helpful reminders for you on Saturday night?
Well, I think obviously playing at home is a big benefit in the playoffs, and you can feed off the emotion of the crowd. You don't have to deal with silent cadence and all that jazz. So, and just feeling the flow of the game and understanding every play matters, every possession matters. But at the same time, that it is a long game, and there's no need to press at any point. And at the end of the day, we just got to go out there. We got to do our job. We got to try to execute the best that we can in hopes that we can win a football game and continue. So that's the name of the game. It's win or go home. Again, but it's Patriots at home in division. That's something that you dream about, and it's an opportunity that doesn't come around too often. I think, like someone alluded to earlier, 1960 something is the last time we've played the Patriots in the playoffs. So the energy is going to be high, the juice will be high, and we got to be ready for that moment.